Let's do live on a Reaction Monday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z.
Am I?
You are.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're doing great. I mean, right. you had a little time, and then you get to see the bouncing baby boy on probably this morning, because I'm guessing he was asleep by the time you got home, and then there you go.
They had a
Big
nice
smile.
time with him this morning. He loves. So we have like a thing now. We watch Sports Center or Good Morning Football in the morning together, and he digs it, and it's very fun.
Yeah.
He loves it. Today, Kyle Brandt went deep into his bag of tricks for a very overproduced. Where's Waldo? Oh, there's Waldo.
There it is.
Deep into his bag of tricks for very overproduced angry runs. Thought he awarded to the wrong person, if I'm being honest with you. But so that was funny. He had like a guitar player, and
nice.
Who was like famous. He had a pyro and all this craziness.
Feels like he's got a big budget for those. He did a really funny walk and talk as Flacco last week.
Oh, yeah,
that
he went to the
was
gym.
good. When he went to the gym was good.
That was good. I'm loving this beanie. That's the thing that's giving me joy right now.
You look great.
I'm a big beanie guy.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good look.
It is. It's a great look.
Well, listen.
You're going to get to it? We can't even talk about it, what it's like to go to a college reunion?
I don't know. I'd like to do all of those things, but I just think like otherwise.
25 years, dude. It was a quarter of a century.
Let's table that because we'll probably need to pick me up at some point.
Okay.
Let's table it because we're going to need to pick me up because this will be a little bit of drudgery.
You're acting like, I don't know, Myles Garrett went out there and had not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 sacks.
He did, yeah.
5 sacks on approximately, let's see, we'll go to Pro Football Focus, we'll give the exact number. But in my mind, I'm going to say on approximately like 34-ish dropbacks because 24 pass attempts, 6 sacks, and then he scrambled probably another 4 or 5 times would be my guess if I was to wager on it. But we can't do that here. Although the scores, I hope you paid attention a little bit this week. Last week it was Uncle Bo's week. This week, okay.
The kid's back.
All right.
The kid's back.
I mean, last week I
you weren't gone, but I mean,
you
you just had a nice week. Really nice week.
A real nice week.
Kind of middling for me.
Middling. Oh, yeah, that's fine. 34 dropbacks, so had it exactly. No big deal. So he sacked him 5 times on 34 dropbacks. That is absolutely insane. It is now a new Cleveland Browns franchise single-season record. Mm-hmm. He now has had and put together, I believe it is 8 straight seasons with double-digit sacks. I believe I have that right.
Yeah, it's him and Reggie White.
Yes, he surpassed Reggie White
Yeah.
for the most sacks before somebody's 30th birthday. He now leads the NFL in sacks and in tackles for loss. And to put the tackles for a loss in a little bit of perspective, in the year 2024, he also led the NFL in tackles for loss with 22 for the season. He has 15 in 8 games.
Jeez.
10 sacks, 15 tackles for loss in 8 games.
He's playing like his hair's on fire. I mean, he really is. Just relentless.
He is the defensive player of the year. He will win it again. Barring something unforeseen, he will win it again. He is on pace, obviously, to set his career highs. He never had more than 16 in a season. He will become the first person ever to have 5 straight seasons of 14 or more sacks. It feels like we're trending in that direction.
Yep.
Singular greatness in a sea of not so great. Now, it says here on Pro Football Focus that his nicknames are Superman or Bigfoot. I've never heard that.
Either one.
Superman, I get. I've never heard Bigfoot.
I mean, but I've never heard anyone refer to him as Superman either. I mean,
but
he might
is.
be,
It
but he
feels
doesn't.
apropos.
It fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely fits.
Is that Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North?
Looks like it, yeah. I think you might be right. Yeah, I think that's fair. No, it's
incredible.
It's reminiscent of Joe. This year it is. This year it is. Like it's singular greatness that gets swallowed up by, the opposite sometimes. And, this was always going to be a brutal matchup because of their strengths versus our weaknesses. And that's kind of the way that it played out. I mean, you're in it at half, down 9-7. You're kind of in it, and then it just waterfalled in the third quarter, and it was done.
This game played out incredibly similarly to our game in Detroit and our game in Baltimore, where the defense, for the first half, did a great job. And let's be honest. If you're talking about, there are 32 points on the scoreboard, the defense, 6 sacks, 2 takeaways, 3 of 11 on third down. Now, you could say, well, they still averaged 6.5 yards a play. There were plenty of chunk plays, and you would be correct with that as well. But at some point, they just get worn down. They give up 9 points in the first half. They were on the field for over 36 minutes in this game.
Yeah.
And in the first half, it was worse than that. It was a worse split.
I mean, buddy, it's the third quarter. Here are our drives. 3 for 1 yard, 3 for 3 yards, 5 for 11 yards that ended in an interception. It's 30-7 at the end of the third.
Yeah. So
you can't, I don't care how
from
good you
9
are.
to 7.
You could have Myles Garrett and the 85 Bears playing with him defensively, and you're still.
Okay, so it was 9-7 at the half.
Yep. And I just gave you the plays from us. 3 for 1 yard, 3 for 3 yards, 5 for 11. That's the whole third quarter, including 2 interceptions.
We had after our opening drive, Bo. After the opening drive, we went on 7 straight possessions. We don't even have the game book. I don't even need it. 7 straight possessions that did not produce more than 20 yards in a single possession, including one where Carson Schlesinger got his first interception. We didn't even get a first down. We kick a field goal that misses. But I wanted to go back to this. Halftime in Baltimore was 10-3 Ravens. Halftime in Detroit was 20-7. But early, it was within 3 minutes to go in the first half, it was 10-7. And then things got, I guess, a little unruly there.
I mean,
it's unbelievable. That's Lilo, or is that Stitch?
Could be either one. My nieces would know for sure. They would know.
That's one of them.
Yeah, they just got back from Disney. Had a great
That's
time.
pretty good. Clark Kent. I mean, Maximus right now that's the most legit costume I've seen.
Yeah, that's pretty good. There was a Velma that was pretty good.
Velma
too.
was very good. Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But these are games where you're in it, and then it's just blown right open. And unfortunately, one of the parallels to the Detroit game was Andre Schmidt misses a field goal, and it felt like that just took the wind out of everything that was going on in the game, and then it went down. Certainly not his fault. I don't want anybody to misinterpret that at all. This is, unfortunately, the story of the 2024 Cleveland Browns. This is a very good defense, a very good defense. It is a defense that is playing as well as it can given what it has or does not have to work with. And now it's a defense that is 100% better at home. It just has been. That's been kind of the case, and the splits are getting to be kind of bizarre that they're real. But this is an excellent defense, and right now we are one of the worst offenses in the NFL. Our wide receivers on 35 pass attempts caught 2 passes in this game. 2. And I got news for you. You go back the week before, fewer passes in that one, but the wide receivers in that one caught 5. So if you're going to call in 8 quarters of NFL football, our wide receivers have caught 7 passes. 7 passes. Just to put that in perspective, in a game in which Tua Tagovailoa completed 12 passes, period.
Yeah.
Against us, and they had yours, so they completed 17 passes total. 7, 8, 11, 12. 12 of them went to wide receivers. We aren't getting the ball. We've talked about weapons and the lack of, the dearth, the paucity, for those of you who are getting into SAT words. And it's tough. It's tough. It is a tough watch. It is tough to understand how we are in this predicament because it is an excellent defense. Our running game is now not looking as good, and you'd say, well, what's going on? Well, I'll tell you. Nobody is afraid of us on offense.
No.
They are not afraid. There is no fear on offense, and thus their job is to stop the run. And so that is exactly what they are trying to do. They are trying to stop the run. Quinshon Judkins in this game, 19 yards rushing, 15 yards after contact. So on average, he got hit a half yard downfield. Last week, on average, he got hit in the backfield. So you could add those together and say, okay, he's getting hit at the line of scrimmage for the last 2 weeks. That's not very good. And we knew this was a good run defense. And that's why we said going into it, this had to be, I said the other one had to be the Quinshon Judkins game, the Miami one. It was. I said this has to be the Dillon Gabriel game. And it was not. It was.
No.
It was not.
No, and you use the weapons. That goes all the way back to February.
For sure.
For us, we were talking about weapons the whole way. You just looked at. I mean, even in the summer, I was like, "Gosh, is there a trade out there? Is there somebody on a roster who's disgruntled? I am disgruntled that could come in and give us a hand." Because I just looked at the room and I just thought there's not enough there. And then you thought that maybe Isaiah Bond could be that, but like. This was a guy who comes in late to camp, and he's basically operating as our number 2 receiver right now, and he does get open deep, but you have to be able to get it to him deep, and right now we're not for myriad reasons. And so, like we've been talking for a while, whether you connect on it or not, you have to take some shots, and you have to take them in the flow of the offense just to make people give pause to putting so many people up near the line of scrimmage. And so this is kind of what comes from it. This was just a tough one. Go ahead.
To buttress that,
yeah.
Average depth of target is something that they track now in the NFL. Number 1 in the league this year, an average depth of target of 10 yards is Sam Darnold. Of like full-time starters, Sam Darnold was 1, Lamar Jackson 9.6, Matt Stafford 9.5. Those were the top 3 in average depth of target. Of the 36 quarterbacks who played at least 20% of their team's snaps, Dillon Gabriel is 36th, tied for 36th. So I guess there's 37 quarterbacks, tied for 36th with Kyler Murray at 6.4 yards average depth of target. So the lowest in the NFL, which checks. And he also, Siciliano had a great stat yesterday. He throws on third down short of the sticks as much as anybody in the NFL.
Yeah. It feels to me you'd have to. Kevin would know the answer to this empirically, and Dylan would too, but it feels to me like he wants it out of his hands as quick as he can. And a lot of times, I mean, even on the safety, that's one where it's like, don't take a sack, and he just got rid of it without anyone being over there. That's what it feels like, that it's almost hot potato. Like it's got to come out so quick. And so when you play that way, then who are you throwing to? You're throwing to tight ends and backs, and you're throwing to them between 2 and 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. That's just not a way to go about your business.
Unfortunately.
Is it not that?
No, he's 2.7. He's 11th fastest to throw. But remember some of the names I gave on people who are pushing the ball down the field. I said Sam Darnold. I said Matthew Stafford. They're 2.6 and 2.63. So they're getting the ball out faster on average than Dillon Gabriel, and yet Sam Darnold and Matt Stafford.
Okay.
And yet their depth of target are amongst Sam Darnold's number 1 in the NFL, over 10, which compared to 6, I mean, that is a monster difference, 4 yards a pass.
It sure is. He also has Jackson Smith and Jigba, and the other one's got Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. So there's that part. All this marries. It all marries. And it all – there's not a coincidence in any of this. Like, it all marries together.
It's just tough on offense.
It is. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I mean, we had Joe Flacco here, and Joe Flacco. Now they lost because they gave up 23 points in the fourth quarter, which is just stupefying. But the Joe Flacco, you know what he's doing? Do you have any times he threw it to Jamar Chase yesterday?
I want to say 18.
23.
Oh, 23.
No, I'm sorry, 19 to Chase this week, 23 the week before to Chase. He's thrown to Jamar Chase 41 times in the last 2 games.
Feels good if you have Jamar Chase in fantasy.
It does. I feel like on a PPR he's doing quite well, although he didn't even have 100 yards in the one yesterday. But we digress. All of these things marry, and it's like there is such a – how many times did you and I talk about a specific needle to thread? It's a difficult needle to thread with this offensive approach. There's one very specific path to getting wins, and when you play teams like the one we played Sunday, everything has to go your way, and you got to pick. And you sacked him 6 times, and it's not enough.
Yeah, you were outscored 21-0 in that third quarter. That's right. That's 6 sacks and 2 interceptions. That's 8 big time defensive plays.
Yeah.
And we had a ton of tackles for loss. I mean, Alex Wright had 3 of them. He's got a new career high. He's playing well. It's just no defense can hold. And by the way, you want evidence about our defense? Miami Dolphins hung 34 on the Falcons this week.
Yeah.
We held them to 6.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
34 they hung on the Falcons.
Yeah.
By the way, I think I just saw a Stone Cold Steve Austin that I wanted to walk back this way. I thought that looked
I would like to see that.
I want to see that.
Circle back.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Is
that a hot dog? I don't know.
Hot dog. Did your kids ever watch that?
Oh, yeah.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse?
Oh, of course.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog.
The best, man. Are you guys into that
stuck
yet?
in my head the rest of the day, guys.
It's
I just got it out.
Kev just got it out. I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean,
Art and Bryce like that.
Yeah, that was
Luke
a great
will
one.
be. He'll
be there.
He'll be in the
that stuff's
clubhouse.
all timeless. You're gonna get steady diet of Bluey coming down your.
Don't know
pipe for you.
Bluey though.
Oh, you're gonna thrive with Bluey.
I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, it's great.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude,
they're like
Bluey
8
is
minutes.
Fantastic, man.
Bluey's
The
unbelievable.
grandbaby, you can put it on and you'd laugh because there's a lot of things.
A lot of stuff for you.
Right over.
By
the
God,
kid's
that's
head.
Stone Cold
Yeah,
Steve
it's-
Austin's music.
That is. Oh my gosh, it's pretty
Is
convincing.
that Papa?
It is. Yeah. The blind mice. That's good.
Oh, I needed it.
Nothing to see here.
That's nice. Yeah, you're gonna like the Bluey.
I'm gonna get him. He's gonna get on because when I was a kid, my favorite was the gummy bears, and I had the kids go through the gummy bears. Oh, gummy bears bouncing here, there, and everywhere.
We did that. We did.
Some people would say it's high adventure beyond compare.
Yeah, we did a lot of the gummy bears. I did a lot of the G.I. Joe and all of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
too.
sure.
Ran
Did
that
you do
out
any
for
Jake and the
children's.
Neverland Pirates?
Oh, they loved it. Yeah,
Jake and
big
the-
Jake.
yeah.
It's great.
Jake's great.
Yeah, they'll run all that back.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's great.
yeah. Luke is he's in for a real treat.
Yeah, you have all this information to share with him. You can
I
hardly
do.
wait. Injury update. Tyson Campbell in concussion protocol. Quinshon Judkins with the shoulder. Rayshon Jenkins groin. They are day-to-day, but of course the bye week. Seems like we did get some decent news on Schlesinger, but Kevin wasn't as specific in his availability. Do I have this right? Thought I saw this morning from Rappaport and among others that it wasn't maybe that he had the high ankle sprain, but maybe not as bad as they typically are, and it was going to be more of a day-to-day thing with Schlesinger, but I didn't get anything from Kevin. Did you guys hear anything specific on
He
Schlesinger?
said that it's an ankle, but that he might not need to go on IR,
which would be nice because
which
he's
would be
been
very
great.
nice.
He's
He has
very,
been
very
great.
good.
And so our booth in New England
Cedric Tillman expected back after the bye week, by the way.
is so low. Like you can walk down one flight of stairs in the crowd and you're on the field.
That's nice.
So it's nice. It was a little bit, although I felt
it
like I
too
saw
low?
the passing game. I saw it well. My God, my good pointing going on. It was useful pointing. But what was cool about it is we were behind the Browns bench, which I don't know at any stadium we've ever been behind the Browns bench.
That's
because
interesting.
normally it's behind the home team's bench everywhere you go, except our stadium.
Yeah.
So that was cool to be able to like see the sideline and really see it. And then so all the Browns fans and friends and family were there as well. And Schlesinger's like whole family was there. So when he got the pick, they were all going nuts.
Oh.
And we got to see that kind of right in front of us. Then obviously it was a bummer that he ended up getting hurt, but I'm glad it's just an ankle. The Tyson Campbell one was really scary because he basically got kneed in the head by Devin Bush, who was trying to get out of the way when they went down as he tackled Stephon Diggs near the goal line.
Yeah. No costumes for those guys. No costumes there.
Luminaries.
All right, one thing we pay homage to the great late Nick Mangold. Pretty shocking. Former Ohio State Buckeye. He's a Centerville kid. He went to Kettering Alter. I didn't know Nick. I interviewed him a handful of times, but I'm really good friends with people who knew him well. And as great of a player, and you're talking about a 7-time Pro Bowler, you're talking about at least three-time All-Pro, 2, I think, first team, 1 second team. Just a better dad, father, coached youth football in New Jersey. You saw the video, I'm sure, of Rex Ryan, among others, Damian Woody, among others, with the outpouring of emotion for him. It was just so shocking and sudden. He put out that plea 11 days before on the 14th that he was in dire straits, but I don't think anybody thought it was that dire. Talking to folks closer to him and to his family, it seemed like they was thinking they'd have a few months rather than 11 days. And so just our thoughts and prayers with the family, Jennifer's wife, and the 4 kids.
It's awful.
And just a stunning thing at age 41. Just a a man's man, an incredible family man, incredible teammate. He was part of a group of guys along with Mike DeAndrea and Bobby Carpenter and A.J. Hawk and him that kind of all came in the same class. It was Tressel's first class of recruits, and it was buoyed by this incredible talent in the state. And he was thrust into action, if memory serves, early in his freshman year. There was an injury to the center. He got thrust in the San Diego State game, and he basically started for 4 years is what it amounted to, and was an All-American and all those things, and always just carried himself with a great amount of class and dignity and kindness. And I saw him on the Buckeye Cruise a couple of times and was always there for fans and everything. And it's just stupefying and saddened to have at 41 to have life end in a situation like that. So our thoughts and prayers to the Mangold family and just a legendary Ohioan and a legendary Buckeye as well. He passed away at the age of 41.
It's brutal.
Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospital, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. This season, check the Browns social channels daily to play our digital scratch-off game for your chance to win club seats and other great prizes. Presented by the Ohio Lottery, proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Jake Burns going to join us coming up next to break down what maybe there is out there on the field to get done offensively. That's coming up next. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Valley Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. OBM, the preferred provider of copiers and document services for the Cleveland Browns, will tackle any size office at 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. Time to head out on that Twisted Tea hotline. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted. Cleveland is Jake Burns, of course, our good buddy from the BrownsFilmBreakdown.com, and he joins us there. All right, lots to get to here, Jake. Let's just start with when you think of when this offense was at its best in the Baker, if you want to go all the way back, like the Baker, Jarvis, Nick Chubb, that group, or even the run with Flacco a couple of years ago, one of the things that we did was it felt like everything we did schematically was working. When you watch the film now compared to those couple of instances or when it was humming at its best offensively, what are the differences that you notice?
Well, there's basic things like execution, certainly that. I mean, like you draw some of these things up on a whiteboard, and there's pathways to this working conceptually, right? That's definitely true. There's also, on top of schematic issues or whatever you want to call them, the personnel failures are happening, right? I think Joel talked about this today. It's usually one guy on a play, missing a down block, not pulling for the right guy, not getting to the spot on the second level he's supposed to get, or a quarterback missing a read, or a running back missing a cut. I mean, this is how it goes. Most bad offenses in the NFL are driven by a failure in execution, which sounds like coach speak, but that is what's happening here. And on top of that, I don't think that they have a very good identity collectively as a team. I mean, you go back and if you want to look at, specific, data, they're much more of a wide zone running team in those days and based a lot of their play action and ability to drive the football, downfield based on that ability to, match and mirror their pass and their run really well. That's not the case anymore. I think they live in a world where they probably need to be in the gun more often, but you don't necessarily have a quarterback that is able to thrive and drop back from the gun, but also like the run game suffers a little bit, but they're also not able to manipulate things up front in the run game the way they did when guys were a little bit younger up there and maybe you had more experience in a running back in Nick Chubb. So feels to me like 8 weeks in, they don't really know who they are. They don't have a great feel for what they want to try to accomplish with like what are our guys really good at. So to be like on the most vanilla form possible here is like this team is getting older on the offensive side, speaking only, up front, and that has led to some failure to execute up front as crisply as they used to. And they don't have as dynamic skill talent as the Jarvis, Odell, Nick days when Chief was a little bit younger. Those things are happening in front of them. And I think from that world, they haven't really altered who they are to get to a spot where they're a bit healthier on offense. They haven't changed that identity. And not to say they haven't, because I feel like they tried to last year, but this year going back and reverting to a little bit more of who they were, in those previous years, it's not working the same way. So, there's so many minute details inside of that, but it just feels like, hey, this snap, we're going to try to be 6 offensive linemen, 2 tight ends, run the football into a loaded box. Next play, we're going to try to get into 11 personnel, see if we can identify a passing mismatch. And it's like, okay, well, what are you doing that gives you a baseline of success that helps you build off of it that teams have to take away? And as you get into a world where you can't push the football downfield organically, you can't run dynamically outside the tackle box the way you used to, everything condenses down. Defenses play tighter to the line of scrimmage. They're less afraid of things behind them happening, and you get a lot of snaps where it feels like that play was dead upon arrival. And that's the world they're in, and that makes everything really challenging.
Yeah, and you see that a lot of times. It feels like even pre-snap that things are going to be in a very, very bad situation for the Cleveland Browns. But I think one thing that a lot of people notice is that there are opportunities at least a couple times a game down the field for this offense, and the ball just never seems to go there. What would you say, how can we fix this and get the passing game going? Quinshon Judkins is very good. I think if we are able to block it up for him, we're going to be just fine. But in terms of the passing game, we had a busted coverage, couldn't get the ball down to Isaiah Bond. How do we how do we get this passing game working down the field?
Yeah, I mean, great question. I think that's the challenge they're trying to process out. Some snaps, they're trying to max protect, and what I mean by that is keeping a tight end in, keeping maybe even two in, including a back, and trying to give the quarterback as much time to find an answer downfield. I think some snaps they're trying to put more guys into the route concepts to open up different portions of the field. I mean, it sounds, again, very vanilla, and it's not a cop-out of things. But when they have those opportunities, one guy is failing, right? Like, there's an example from the game last week where the quarterback doesn't see the rail routes running wide open and doesn't throw it to him. The week before, it was a max protect takeoff. Isaiah Bond runs up the left sideline, and it's wide open, and we don't get to it because our eyes never find it, right? And that happens, right? It's a third-round quarterback playing. You go back and look at the history of third-round quarterbacks playing. The guys who usually find the most success are when everybody around them is playing really good football. And I think this kind of harkens back to your question. There are other opportunities to find throws downfield where if one player doesn't have a leak in pass protection, they can get to it. And that's like the thing that keeps happening. A route gets run, it's on the money, it's delivered, it's dropped. The next play, a guy loses a block up front, so we don't get the eyes to that spot on the field that you want to get to. And then the next play, it's a quarterback doesn't see it. And I think, when you're this young at quarterback, and if they do end up going to Shedor's also young and inexperienced, these are growing pains that are going to happen. But, ultimately, the guys who have had that third round or later success, and even if you lump in the second round or later guys, they come into situations where everybody is propping the guy up at quarterback. And right now, and I'm not saying anything that players in the locker room aren't saying, especially even today, they're not playing well enough. And if they're not playing well enough, then the quarterback is going to struggle. And listen, I think we can all agree that the quarterback isn't overcoming any of those obstacles, is not creating out of structure. They're not getting much of that. But I'm just it's a multi-layered issue that doesn't really have a quick fix other than, guys have to do their job. All 11 have to do their job cohesively. And then there's probably 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the world who, when all 11 aren't doing their job, can still make a play out of a play that's DOA, right? The dead on arrival. And they don't have one of those right now. So if that's the case, then you better find a way to be better within structure, and the execution is really rough. It's really rough, and I don't think there's enough creativity in how they're going about seeking out some of those plays that can put them into a bit more of an advantageous spot. But again, that's the very nuanced discussion as well. But it's a top-down failure that is just rendering a poor result on almost every one of those downfield opportunities, because there's not a ton of them a team gets per game. Mm-hmm. You got to hit on. If you get 8 or 9 chances, you got to find a way to hit 3 or 4 of them at minimum. And the Browns are lucky to find one right now. And I know you guys know this, but the perfect example is the first drive touchdown. That's a beautiful design. That's a fullback insert design where Harold Fannon's in the backfield. He's running through the line of scrimmage to sell run, and then he's the intermediate route on a corner route. And usually flood concepts have a deep, a middle, and a shallow. Instead of having the fullback slide outside the tackle box and be the flat, which is very common, football 101 for decades, you put him through the line of scrimmage like he's blocking and then convert him to a corner. There's nobody around him. They're not getting to enough of those creative things that make defenses really think. They hit Malachi Corley on a nice little jet sweep, and then they never really leveraged that success on the jet sweep to create anything off of it. Hey, we used the jet sweep, busted it for 31 yards. How about we use that in a specific way to run play action, where we fake that, we toss it to the perimeter, and use it as a run action? How about we use it off play action, where we have him sell that, and then we'll kind of boot out and throw a screen back to him? I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to be I could coach the Cleveland Browns here, but I'm just saying they don't really seem to have an identity of layering what they're doing, what they're finding some success with, to leverage other parts of success. It feels very much like call what you think is going to work based on the down, and there's no setting something up in the first quarter that you render a successful result in the third or fourth quarter. That's where they're struggling right now.
And what's so strange about that is
was
what
so
you
good
just
at it,
described
the
is what the sequencing that we raved about years ago. When in the beginning, was this sets up this, which happens here, and then they make this variation off of this.
Like the DPJ touchdown against Tennessee was something we had set up like the week before, and
right? Yeah, there was all that. And we knew this was always going to be a difficult needle to thread, Jake, because you knew that there were deficiencies in the weapons game. You knew that, especially if there were injuries at tackle, that could be a little bit of a struggle. And then this is the youngest quarterback room in the NFL. I mean, we have 2 rookies and Bailey Zappi. Like, that's what this has turned into now. So just a really young, raw group. But you mentioned that first drive where you go down and you mentioned the design on the play to Fannin, that what is the walk-in touchdown, and it's 7-3, and okay, let's go. What did New England do in the drives that followed that made whatever success we had in that first drive go away, or what did we not do that we did do on the first drive?
Yeah, I want to be careful because, like, I don't want to say they're never trying to build plays off of other plays. I think 2 weeks ago was a really good example of what they were. I'm kind of trying to jar Browns fans' memory here a little bit, but 2 weeks ago they were using this sort of hybrid tight end. They would put an extra offensive lineman in the wing, which was Luke Whippler they used in that game against Pittsburgh, and then they would put a tight end just outside of him. And they used that formation to run on the first play, and then they came back to it and tried to get a big play action where they put Njoku and Fannin in the same alignment and booted off of it and had Isaiah Bond on a vertical touchdown up the left sideline, but the quarterback never gave it any attention and threw the ball. I think he threw it over the middle to Thrash on a drag.
Yep.
And like they're trying. I'm not saying they're not trying. What I'm saying is they're not successful with what they're trying to do here. So your question about, hey, they did this on the first drive, the plays that they hit big, they didn't really revisit wrinkles of those throughout this game. I didn't see much of Fannin in the backfield after this. I certainly didn't see any play action similar to that. And I think Corley only had 4 snaps in the game, so they didn't really leverage that. So those are the 2 things that really work. Now, they hit a nice drag route on a 3rd and long that Fannin took for like 19 yards up the left sideline, but that was just a bust in coverage that they were able to find where the safety driving down in man coverage was late getting there. There were 3 big chunk plays, the second being Corley's 31-yard run, and then obviously the touchdown throw up the right sideline. But they didn't really visit those 2 things. It really became very much they couldn't run it. They only had 9 runs for Judkins on the day, a lot of loaded boxes, a lot of people inside of tight spaces. They really don't want to put the football on the perimeter very much in the run game, which to me is like, that really is hard to just run between the tackles. You saw a lot of what New England likes to do, and teams keep doing it, where they're influencing linebackers by pulling a guard in the opposite. Like, linebackers read a guard. That's like football 101 when you're in middle school. Hey, if the guard steps down, you go here. If the guard pulls, you go there. This kind of stuff. And their teams are influencing the Browns' defense by putting guards opposite of a toss-out. And if you watch, a lot of successful concepts are driven in this game to Trevion Henderson on the perimeter based on influencing linebackers. And like, the Browns are just running a very vanilla run scheme that doesn't really stress the lateral 53 yards across the field. It's inside the tackle box, and that's hard to run on. And then when your run game renders 19 yards on 9 carries from your best player, building anything off of that is really challenging because teams are not afraid at the safety level and corner level to, hey, I got to fit the run here or we could be in trouble. Nah, I'll slow play it. And then you start throwing trick plays out like a double pass or a flea flicker, and nobody's honoring it in the back half because what rush do I have to play forward? Mm-hmm. So that's why they're struggling. They're not able to find explosives, and teams don't respect their ability to find explosives and are playing them accordingly.
It's like they're always playing in the red zone.
Scheme up some answers.
It's like they're always playing in the red zone.
Exactly right. It's a condensed field all the time.
Yeah, and red zone's very difficult to operate in because it's a condensed field, and so if you do that all the time, that's tough. Hopefully, they're going to go through self-scouts. They're going to take these 2 weeks, and hopefully we can come up with something that gets it going. And when it is there, because there have been plays to be made, that Dylan sees it and is willing to deliver the football on some of those vertical shots. Now, defensively, I said that this reminded me of some of the other road games where you do a really good job, bend but don't break. You only give 3 field goals in the first half, but just kind of being on the field so much it wears on this defense. But we did see a singularly great performance from Myles Garrett. You don't want that to be lost in the result. Alex Wright, 3 tackles for loss. He's having a great year and looks like somebody that they want to give a contract to keep him here with the Browns. Defensively, at least, what are you seeing in terms of the good? And then is it just a simple matter of over time, if your offense isn't producing, we had 7 straight drives that didn't gain more than 20 yards, that nobody can play defense for that long.
No, like to the point of getting mad at the defense is certainly, like, if you step back and look at all of it, it's kind of challenging. But they did give up 411 yards. I mean, that's a lot. And there's no doubt that the ability of Drake May is certainly his ability to step up, run, and create when something's not there is probably still underrated across the NFL. I thought he had a good game. The Browns did do a good job of bending. I think teams have a real identifiable way to run the football on them, especially pushing the perimeter with pin-pull concepts where you're pinning the defensive end inside, pulling a lineman and the tight end usually, or an extra running back outside to take care of linebackers scraping. So there's some stuff here that is schemed up. I was very interested. They went such heavy zone last week against Tua in Miami, like the lowest percentage of man percentage that they have played in a game in Jim Schwartz's tenure, according to True Media, which is the big data collection company. So that was like, okay, are they going to try to double down on that and try to be different? I thought maybe it was like, okay, Vrabes knows us. Let's be different this week and kind of give them something next. They were back to like 75% man in this game, and the Patriots, after halftime, said, all right, if that's how they're going to play us, we're going to put these run schemes in action that stress it. We're going to give them run action stuff that makes those guys who have multiple, tasks on the play. He has to play the D gap, but also have this player in coverage. Like Mac Hollins ends up going for like 80 yards off of concepts where they're just run actioning and stressing sort of man defense and putting them in a tough spot, in a bind. So yeah, the second half was, hey, they had a great plan at halftime of like, hey, they're going to go back to who they've always been. They're playing a bunch of man. Let's put our man beaters in place and act accordingly. And the Browns still did a nice job of making Drake May hold on to the ball at times. You don't get 6 sacks unless you're making that young man hold on to the ball, because Miles' sacks were not often done without him getting blocked by a chipper for like a full second and then go. So it's not like they weren't making Drake think at times. It's just they had the right action in place, hit the right home run balls. The ball to Kayshon Boutte up the double move was a beautiful throw. It's not a total failure, but they're just, when they get figured out, and I thought McDaniels did a great job at halftime of like, that's how they're going to play us. Here's our answer. And then 21 third quarter points and the game's over. I mean, it's just that's the nature of it. So, I'm sure New England was not panicking based on what Miles has said. I said a couple days before he went out and said it, which was ironic, that like, hey, defenses know, or opposing teams know, let's get some points on the board when we can, play smart, and take advantage of opportunistic stuff, because we're not going to really have to chase the scoreboard a ton. So it felt like a lot of that, and they schemed him up at the perfect times, caught Dom Jones once there, and all of a sudden it's kind of off and running, So it's an interesting game plan for Schwartz to kind of really roll back into man coverage, and it felt like McDaniels had a real feel for when they did that, how to combat that in the second half.
Is Miles, what he's doing right now, in spite of everything that else that's going on around him, all the attention he's getting, is this one of the singularly great seasons? I mean, he's got 15 tackles for a loss and 10 sacks in 8 games.
Well, this is going to sound crazy, but he's been better before. I mean, the pressure rates aren't astronomical, and he usually puts up, I'm a believer that the pressure rate matters more than sacks. So, like, he's having a great season. I think he's had better seasons. But, yeah, I mean, this is like Michael Jordan 98 versus 96 stuff here. Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's obviously extremely talented, and is about as good as it gets at the position, and that's what makes it so challenging to have this outcome in place where he's doing these special things and they can't leverage it. Because, boy, if you had – and I don't know this specifically, I'd love to look it up, and I'm not trying to just compare TJ Watt, but thinking about other players at the position who have had success with his timeline because they were in the same draft.
Yeah.
How many times has Watt rushed with his team in the lead versus how many times Miles has had that opportunity?
Many more.
Much more.
Many more.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point, is like how difficult, how much, easier life could be if he was playing 70% of his season where the opposing offense was chasing the scoreboard, and even a more neutral way, guys, like a more neutral way where it's within one score type of stuff. So what he's able to do, given some of the difficulties around him, is why it's starting to feel like the guy's just like, he's a sure ballot Hall of Famer, but he wants to win. The sideline stuff, the helmet talk, he wants to win, and they got to find a way to pay these veterans off who have been here, Denzel and Grant, some of these guys, they got to start winning, man. So that's the hope. But he's a unicorn. He's a unicorn.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you, Jake.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Anytime.
All right, there he goes. Jake Burns from the Browns Film Breakdown. You can follow him on X at Browns Film BDN is where you will get that. We'll head to the podium coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Add more fun to your Phantom of the Bally Bet Sportsbook app. Download today. Get 50 back in bonus bets. You place your first wager of 10 or more. Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time to head to the podium. Presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here's your head coach, Kevin Stefanski.
Okay, injury
Goes down over 12 minutes.
Tyson Campbell's in concussion protocol. Rayshon Jenkins is dealing with a groin injury. He's really day-to-day. Quinshawn Judkins is day-to-day with the shoulder. And then Carson Swessinger has an ankle injury. We'll see how he looks coming out of the bye. But I'd say that's really like a week-to-week type injury. Obviously, like we talked about yesterday evening, frustrating on a bunch of different levels, not to play our best, not to coach our best in that game. And then, that frustration will lead to us looking at how to get better. And that's where this bye will be huge for this football team. We still got more than half of the season left, but we got to make some definitely have to look at it and as a coaching staff, look at it and find ways to set our players up for success. And that's what our sole focus will be this week. With that, I'll take any questions.
Hey, Kevin, with Carson, there's a report there's a high ankle. And if so, is IR a possibility for him?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, Scott, but I don't believe this will be IR.
Okay. And then do you expect Cedric Tillman to come back following the bye?
I do.
And last thing on that, just receiver core, how much do you miss his size out there in just a bunch of different ways?
Yeah, listen, we like the guys we got. Obviously, we have some guys that are smaller, fast, that type of thing, but we like the guys we got. But it would be good to have Ced back.
Yeah, Kevin, when you talk about what you can do, and yesterday you mentioned that you're going to stick with Dylan going forward. When you talk about looking at every single thing, is play calling? Is that something that you'll look at? Will you think about letting Tommy have a shot at it, or what are some of the things that you actually can do to change things over this bye?
Yeah, I think I need to spend time on all those things, Mary Kay, and I think it's by position we have to be better, and we have to put our players in better spots, if you will, and that includes every position. So we'll look at all of it this week and make a decision coming out of the bye.
Kevin, you and Tommy throughout this have kept saying we have to put our players in better positions. So since you've been trying to do that since the first game, what more can be done?
Well, I think the big picture there, Jeff, is to have success as an offense, you have to be efficient in what you're doing, and you have to be explosive in what you're doing. And in order to do that, we have to put guys in certain spots, put them in whatever position it may be at, wide receiver, tight end, running back, if you will, and find ways to maximize their skill set. So when you're not having the success that we need to be having and we're working towards, obviously we're not doing enough. So you're constantly looking at different players, different ways that routes that they can run concepts that they can run. So you have to continue to search for those things so that you can be efficient and then ultimately explosive.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Kevin, you guys seem to be somewhat excited in the draft to get Dylan Gabriel in the third round. And obviously he's not shown maybe some of those things that you guys saw coming out of college. Just, what's been missing in these 4 starts as far as bringing out some of those traits that really got you guys as an organization excited about him?
Yeah, I think it's like as you know, Daryl, this is playing good on offense is about 11 guys on the field and us as coaches doing our job. Obviously, young players will learn in each outing that they're out there. I think Dylan will continue to learn, will continue to get better. But it's really an entire offensive type of thing where we all need to be better.
And it doesn't seem like we're going to talk to Andrew this week. But just for you, going back to last season, and it's obviously been a difficult stretch here for the organization. Just, how has this been for you to kind of, get through these growing pains as you guys try and find your footing again?
Yeah, it's football. There's ups and downs to a game. There's ups and downs to a season. We'll take a breath here. Players certainly will get refreshed and we'll be ready for the final 9 of the regular season.
Hey, Kevin, I know we've talked a lot over the last several weeks about the deep passing game. Are you noticing defenses starting to really start to over overload the box, almost dare you to try to throw deep or doing things defensively, because of what you guys haven't been able to do in that aspect of the game?
I think every game is different, Chris. Every defense has a different plan week to week. Sometimes it can be disguised. Sometimes it can be, like you're mentioning, a 7 or 8 man box. But we've seen all different types of defenses throughout the season.
Hey, Kevin, a few of the guys we're talking about, with the run kind of along those lines, the lack of production on early downs hurting you guys. I mean, how much does that impact the play calling, especially when you're facing so many 3rd and longs, even earlier in the game?
Yeah, I think that's a key to being successful on offense, Ashley, is having success on early downs, whether you run or pass it, to either stay out of 3rd down or stay into 3rd and manageable distances. And I think too often in that game, we didn't do a good enough job on 1st down, and that led to not staying on the field. The time of possession was such that we weren't able to, remain on the field, get to plays that we wanted to get to, and you end up running out of time there if you're not doing your job on 1st and 2nd down.
And I know you got asked about Jerry yesterday, but just the fact that he didn't get a target until early in the 4th quarter, like what needs to happen to get him involved earlier? And are you guys worried at all about, frustration with him just with how the year has gone?
Yeah, I'm frustrated with that loss. I'm frustrated that we don't get the ball to Jerry, our best wide receiver, earlier in that game and throughout that game. Now, are there always reasons for those type of things? Sure, but it's not lost on me that Jerry's our best player at that position, and we have to get him the ball. And that goes back to the earlier comment we talked about, just making sure we have our guys in the right positions, whether it's where they're playing on the formation, the routes we're asking them to run, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, Kevin, you're obviously in the bye week, middle of the road, kind of crossroads. How do you evaluate? You're playing a lot of young guys, but where the organization, where the team is versus this topsy-turvy AFC North, 2 games out of 1st place at the midway point. So how do you balance that, with 9 games to play? All in or continue, and just what's been going on?
No, we're all in, Fred. I mean, you are what your record says you are, so we got to own it. That's where we are, but we're excited about the challenge in front of us. We get, again, guys will take a breath this week, but then you got 9 games coming up, 5 of them at our place.
Kevin, you mentioned some of that frustration and you guys share in the frustration. Is there a balance to kind of handling the frustration and not letting it go overboard, but also maybe letting it fuel you, trying to change some things? Is there a balance, and what does that look like?
I think it's really so specific to all of us. We know we have a job to do. The fun in this business is winning. So there's the frustration that comes with losing a game is very real, but how you channel that and how you, like you said, use it as fuel moving forward, I think is really important.
And then when you're doing that, managing, how guys are performing too. I think about a guy like Alex Wright, who seems to have a strong year. Do you kind of lean on the production of some of those guys as you're trying to move forward and use them as examples? Is that something that you can do?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we're going to, moving forward, we need our best players to play great. And there's some really good moments of that throughout this season. And again, we just have to, as from the coaching staff on down, we got to make sure that we're doing our job, playing our role, putting our guys where they need to be. And then, like you said, guys are going to make plays. And I think Alex is a great example of that.
Yeah, Kevin, I have a couple of questions real quick, if you don't mind. The first one, a clip circulated showing Miles on the sideline just whipping his helmet, into the ground during the game. Just wondering, what you think of an outburst like that. What do you think that he was so angry about in that moment? I mean, I think it may have been that he got taken out of the game and wanted to play, is what I think he said. afterwards, but I don't know if it was specifically about that moment. But what do you think about that sort of show of frustration by him on the sideline?
Yeah, similar to what I was just saying, Mary Kay, with Cam. We're all frustrated. Obviously, in those moments, we want to make sure it doesn't get the best of us. But with that frustration comes a resolve. And I know Miles, and I know him as a leader. I know the leaders in this football team will show that mettle, will show that resolve.
And then the other question that I had was about Shador not playing yesterday. And I'm pretty sure he mentioned in the locker room that it wasn't his decision. And so, I mean, if he had said to you guys, hey, I want to play, I can play, I mean, would that have factored into this at all? Or what was the thinking behind that and how'd that go?
Yeah, he obviously came in Saturday with his back injury. We were hopeful that he'd be able to move around well enough to suit up on Sunday, but put him through a pregame warm up, and obviously just didn't feel like he was ready to Mary Kay. But he's getting better every day, and I'm hopeful that he'll continue to improve.
And if I can ask a super quick follow up on that, why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
Yeah, Kevin, I apologize for asking a question I normally ask Andrew, but you're here. So with the trade deadline that's coming up here, do you see the team focusing maybe on moves similar to the Greg Newsome, Tyson Campbell trade, where you're more so looking for getting players that can help you now as opposed to picks? And then also, too, what is your role in those conversations when it comes to looking for help that you need with the roster?
Yeah, you'd have to ask Andrew. I'm just kidding. Yeah, listen, AB is doing his job. We talk every day about opportunities that may or may not come up. I really like the group we have, but I'm sure, I know we're working hard and looking at all those avenues, but I like the guys we got.
Kevin, how did Shador hurt the back?
Yeah, not sure. I mean, nothing specific, just came in with stiff.
And then Miles, have you ever seen a performance like that? And how unfortunate that it comes in a loss like that?
Well, that's among the many frustrating things is you want to celebrate a performance like that. And, I told him that he should be very proud. And I know we win as a team, we lose as a team, and it's hard to think about that right now. But that's pretty special to be able to do that.
Thanks.
All right, that wraps us up. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you, guys.
All right, second hour of the program coming up next. We go one thought around the National Football League. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Head to Meijer or scan the Hillshire Farms QR code in the meat department until November 11th for a chance to win a suite for 10 to the Steelers game on December 28th. Time for one thought from every NFL game in week number 8. The NFL was a little drunk. Was a little drunk this weekend. There's a lot of crazy scores and results. Not just like pay attention to the scores stuff, but just like Miami winning by 34-10 against Atlanta when Atlanta's favored by 7.5. There was just crazy stuff.
There were some beatings
there
were. Out.
It was really, really crazy. So Gibbe, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
I mean, in the first window, other than the Jets Bengals, and to some degree the Niners Texans for a period was somewhat close.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all beatings. 24, 14, 31, 11, 19, and 18 were the margins of victory. And in the afternoon, it was 20, 20, and 24.
Yeah.
There were a lot of beatings handed out.
There were. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
The Jets-Bengals only close game in the whole
league.
That
really wasn't. I mean,
until
it was 38-24 in the fourth quarter, and the Bengals lost.
Yeah.
38-24.
Yeah.
The game last night was a good game. It was closer than the final score would indicate.
It was, yeah.
That being said, total sidebar from the weekend excursion that we had. Because my wife's like, how was vacation? That's her running thing. She even has her father asking. He sends me an email.
How's vacation?
How was vacation? Well, Dad,
you want
I
the
can
truth?
assure you.
You want the real truth on that?
Yep. Exactly. I will say this. Providence, Rhode Island.
Pretty good little town.
Maybe one of the finer ones that we go to of the 32 road cities.
It's an interest. I've never been there.
It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I remember my wife when she was in TV was they tried to hire her to go there. She went to Columbus instead, but I remember her being
probably a
interested
better
in that.
move, I would think.
Yeah.
But the food scene, undefeated, ocean.
That's pretty
like
cool.
It's right there. It's all.
It's got some good classic looking buildings. It's also a beautiful time of year to be there because the trees and all the trees are turning.
Yeah.
You got all the beautiful fall colors.
We're finding positives. That was a big one. All right. Sunday, let's recap it. The Dolphins, 34, as you mentioned, Bo Bishop. The gutless Falcons, 10. Oh, and they're back to being gutless. Bo Bishop, lead this one up.
Crazy week, too. Like on the injury report, like all that stuff with Lamar on Friday for Baltimore, which was crazy. And I heard Harbaugh's, reaction or his answer for that Sunday after their game.
Which was what? I did not hear.
His answer was there was nothing malicious. We really didn't know until Saturday
but
if
he
was
said he
playing or
practiced
not.
fully. You can't say then he practiced in limited fashion. Like you either know he practiced fully on Friday or not.
He did practice fully Friday. He just ran the scout team.
And then they changed it to limited and downgraded him.
But they did that on. And then the other thing that was weird is he said he said that you made some point of reference to that there was a different terminology in the old system, doubtful.
Yeah, there used to be doubtful, questionable,
and he said
probable.
He probably would have been doubtful. In the old way, he would have been doubtful, but we don't have that anymore. And
I don't know why you don't have that.
I don't either. But this goes back into Penix because this kind of snuck up on all of us.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden Penix was out.
And what happened to Drake London, too? Because he was out.
The other thing that was pretty crazy about this one, I'll take the Falcons side of it. So Cousins didn't do much. He really struggled. But the other thing that was pretty crazy is I saw Bijan Robinson had and the only reason I took notice of this is because of the extreme nature of it. He had a total yards prop in this game that was the second highest in prop history next to a Christian McCaffrey game with the Panthers from 19 or something like that was the last time. And Bijan Robinson had 23 yards receiving and 25 yards rushing. It was like it was like 211 total yards. It was way out there.
Yeah.
Highest since McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And he had less than 50 total yards. So you make sense of the NFL this weekend, I dare you.
Drunk.
Crazy.
Nathan Zagura, one thought.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins came back and did not look good in this game, and Miami and Tua did look good in this game. Tua goes 20 of 26 for 205 and 4 touchdowns. I knew they were a better team in a dome and perfect environment, and certainly you saw the differences from here to there, but man, that's wild, and that's a team that they could have gone in there and laid down and said,
I thought they would.
Get this guy out of here, and they went in there, and it was a butt kicking.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was 17-3 at the half. Like this was
That was no chance.
Yeah, they put it on them pretty good.
Atlanta's now 3-4.
3-4. People thought they were going to win that division.
Gutless.
Yeah. Back to gutless.
Next up, the Ratbirds come back and handily take care of the Chicago Bears in the second half. Final score 30-16. Ravens get win number 2 on the year. Nathan Zagura, one thought.
Yeah, Chicago outgained them. Mm-hmm. They averaged 6 yards a play. They had the one turnover, obviously. They just couldn't convert into scoring. You got to give Snoop Huntley 17-22, 186 and a touchdown. Give him a lot of credit. Derrick Henry, they kind of just, grounded out. But this was a game that, especially once the quarterback switch was made, you're like, okay, this is the Bears are going to be able to put the nail in the coffin. But this was a Ravens team now that I think is ready to roll.
Yeah, to buttress that. And by the way, Snoop Huntley
Thursday night, right?
Yeah, Snoop Huntley just be the backup quarterback in Baltimore.
Yes,
that's perfect.
Just
do that for your career.
That's where it works.
Sign up for it. He was here.
Yeah,
this year,
in August. He was here. You want to know if you're Baltimore at 2-6, 2-5, 2-5 now. They have Miami on Thursday. Then they're at Minnesota, at us, Jets at home, Bengals at home, Steelers at home, at Bengals.
That's how you get right back in.
They'll be favored in every single one of those games except for maybe at Minnesota, if Minnesota has a good – but not right now I don't think they would be, but maybe. Every other game they'll be big favorites in the rest from there all the way until they're Patriots at home on December 21st is the next game they won't be favored in my opinion.
Well, if they go on the run that we think they're going to go on and Lamar's playing well and all that, they'll be favored at home over the Patriots. They could be.
Oh, for sure. They could be and then they're at Green Bay, so they'd be an underdog there, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight games where they'll probably be touchdown or more in many of those favorites.
They were a touchdown in this game.
Now you're 9-5.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Their defense showed up too.
They have room to slip up one or two.
Yeah.
I think they're going to end up being 10-7.
And that might win it.
I think I think that will be enough.
Up next, the Buffalo Bills heard of Bo Bishop's dilemma and the wager with his young son.
Oh, God, thank God.
And they said, hey, we have a 2-game losing streak. Let's end this, and let's take care of the Carolina Panthers. 40-9, Bills beat the Panthers. Bo Bishop, a comment from you.
I'm just an idiot. Buffalo's coming off a bye. Right?
We are both idiots.
Okay, we talked
ourselves.
There
with you.
Yeah, I know you were, buddy. I didn't want to throw you with me. But Buffalo's coming off a bye. It was a decent sized number. Carolina has been really good at home. Been a really good home team.
Home.
Andy Dalton in for Bryce. Andy Dalton had, I don't know if you guys saw this. It was among the most stupefying plays of veteran quarterback I've ever seen. So the score is it's 19-3. They're inside the red zone. Going into half. They have no timeouts left.
Oh, gosh.
With 15 seconds on the clock, Andy Dalton takes a sack. He took a sack. A veteran quarterback took a sack, and the play, it goes out, no points, nothing. They get nothing out of it. And they're inside I want to say they were inside the 15.
Unbelievable.
They were right on the doorstep and couldn't get it done. One other thing on Carolina, I have no idea why they don't just run Rico Dowdle always. I just don't
you
get
said
it.
A couple of weeks ago.
That makes no sense.
And it's clear. Look, Chuba Hubbard was very good, but right now Rico Dowdle is their best back, and he needs to touch the ball the most on that team. Bottom line. On the other side of it, did James Cook have one of the quietest 200-yard games ever? 19 for 216, 2 touchdowns. He and Dalvin Cook now are the only brothers in NFL history to have 200-yard rushing games.
That's awesome. That's a great story. You imagine them growing up. Anything you can do, I can do better thing.
I mean, nuts.
So cool, man. That type of talent.
And he's significantly younger than him. He must be.
Yeah.
Up next, the New York Football Jets are no longer winless, and every team in the NFL now has a win. The Jets come back to shock the Bengals of Northern Kentucky, 39-38. The final score. Nathan Zagura, one thought.
It's inconceivable that the Bengals blew this game. It really is inconceivable that they blew it. I mean, they had it all working. They're running the ball great. P. Ryan, 9 for 94 and a touchdown. Chase Brown, 12 for 73 and a touchdown. Flacco even got a touchdown in there. He throws 2 touchdowns, 12 catches for Chase. Only 2 targets for T. Higgins, though. That
strange.
And one was for 44 yards and a touchdown. That was very strange. But they're up 38-24 with 10:21 to go.
Yep.
And lose the game. And it's crazy. And one of the things that's so funny to me is how it's become an analytically accepted thing now that when you're down 14 on the first touchdown, teams go for 2. And people get so mad about it when people miss it, because then it's like, well, you could have just been down 7 and now you're down 8.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to go for 2 again. The best you can do is tie. Yeah, but when you do what the Jets did, where they score, they go for 2 and get it.
Yep.
Now guess what they did at the end of the year? They win the game because they scored the 2 touchdowns. So this is one where it worked out. Bottom line in this one, with the Mangold stuff you talked about, and by the way, I think he's going to end up being everything that will happen for them for a Jets factor is going to happen in our game, because they don't play next
probably
week.
they don't play, yeah. So
are they not home? They're not home?
No, they're at Baltimore, aren't they? Don't they have Baltimore this week?
No, Baltimore has the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're us next. They got a bye, too.
Yeah, they have a bye.
Yeah, so,
that'll be there.
They'll honor Nick then, yeah.
So very cool for them that they win in this almost improbable fashion, and in some ways reminds me of the way that we improbably beat the Ravens right after
Buckeye
Jim passed
quarterback,
away.
by the way,
Buckeye
too.
quarterback. And good for Justin Fields.
Did you hear his postgame?
Yeah, he was like crying in his closet.
It's most vulnerable I've heard a professional athlete. He said, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. And he talked about how he's closed the door in his closet crying on the floor.
Yeah.
Because of the Woody Johnson comments last week.
I mean, just everything.
And all of it.
Yeah.
And you just go, geez, man. And
they're people too. I think people forget
God
that all
almighty,
the time.
like good Lord.
Yeah.
He was great in this game. 21-32, 244. He had the touchdown. Kept a lot of plays
he had a
alive
touchdown
with the
rushing too,
scrambling.
didn't he?
He did not, but he was frisky. They got Breece Hall going a little bit. I like how Aaron Glenn goes about his business too, so I was happy that they got a win. And then I was really happy for Justin. Yeah, it's an impossible loss for Cincinnati. I mean, that's devastating. They would have been 4-4.
4-4. Half game out.
It's so hard. Their schedule gets so robust from here going forward. They're going to be fun to watch because they'll spin it. But like Hendrickson goes down at half, and their defense got shut off when he went down. So there's a lot of factors in that for Cincinnati.
They've got the Bears at home next week. Then they get a bye. Then they go at Steelers. That could have been, had they won that could have been for first place.
Yep. Yeah, that was a must-win. And you just kind of assumed that they would. They were up 2 touchdowns most of the game.
You scored 38 points.
Mm-hmm. When Hendrickson went out, their defense lost whatever teeth it had.
They have
nothing. They have no response if he goes down.
Toothless.
Up next, the Fighting Pedros go down in Houston. 49ers dip to 5-3 on the year. The Texans come away with a much-needed win, 26-15. Bo Bishop, one thought.
This is the most stupefying result of the weekend to me, honestly. It really is. Even more so than, honestly, Cincinnati. Not that the 49ers lost. They were underdogs in this game by 1.5.
They're hurt.
Not that they lost. They're battered. They're all these things. But they were dominated by Houston, who hasn't dominated anybody. Stroud had a really good game. They got the run game going a little bit with Woody Marks. So
just let Woody Marks eat.
No Nico Collins. Doesn't matter. Like, just a very weird 49ers approach and result to me. This was the most shocking result of the weekend.
Good for CJ. Played well. Woody Marks needs to be set free. So my dad is just up in arms. They have no pass rush, so he wasn't sacked at all. CJ Stroud was not sacked.
Okay.
I don't think he was hit much. And my dad said Mac Jones was hit every other play. So their injuries on the lines and the loss for them of Nick Bosa has been devastating to their ability to get the quarterback. Now, they're still 5-3.
Yeah.
Very much in it. I think Houston is still – I don't think they're necessarily in it as Houston to catch Indy the way Indy's playing right now. But they are in it to maybe – they're going to be in the wild card mix. I think the wild card mix is going to be very interesting to watch. But they are the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL. They allow the fewest points per game. Houston, yes.
Oh, really?
So last week there was some stat in the packet that they were the first team to be the number 1 scoring defense in the league, and they were at that time 2-4 to be 2 games under 500 through 6 games and be the number 1 scoring defense. That could never happen before.
Next up, to round out the early window on Sunday in one thought, the Eagles take down the G-Men 38-20. Camp Scadaboo out likely for the year. Pretty nasty ankle injury. The Eagles go to 6-2. The G-Men 2-6. Nathan, one thought.
I believe you had this.
Saquon. I said Saquon's going to go nuts. First play of the game, 65 yards to the house. He was great. Tank Bigsby looked pretty good. He would be the person to handcuff to Saquon Barkley in the event of an injury there. Couple of things. One, Pedro distraught. He is not okay about the loss of Scadaboo. He wanted to go headbutt him like Jackson Dart did. He's very unhappy about this. And then the other is the way that the tush push has been officiated this year is, to me, the reason why it's got to go. That was a fumble. You can't say his forward progress was stopped. He was still driving his legs forward in a tush push situation. It's ridiculous. Eagles are better than people think they are. They're 6-2, and everybody's acting like they're
like the most disgruntled 6-2.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
didn't. AJ Brown didn't even play in this one.
No,
but Hurts has been efficient. They got it going on the ground. Yeah, they're going to be just fine. And the Giants, they're not going to be as fun without Scadaboo, and I think they're in for a long season.
This would have been. I mean, they're without Malik Neighbors too.
Yep.
So you have two guys who are pure joy to watch in Neighbors and Scadaboo, both done for the year.
Yep.
I mean, you saw the emotion on Dart's face with the injury. With it. I mean, just totally broken. Yeah, it's going to be. Honestly, though, it might benefit now that this has happened. Provided they can both get back to 100%, their pick is going to be a better pick, and now maybe you can really add to this thing. And Dart's shown you flashes. Scadaboo certainly flashes. Get Neighbors back. He's a stud. They could be fun pretty quickly.
Yes.
Pretty quickly next year.
But Neighbors, Siciliano told me yesterday, Neighbors hasn't even had surgery yet because the swelling has not gone down.
Oh, my God. I hadn't heard that. He'd know. That's wild. Well, that changes things dramatically then. That would really suck.
And he was quite good.
Yeah.
To the late window and the debut of Tyler Shuck. In for Spencer Rattler in New Orleans. Didn't matter. Tampa Bay takes down the Saints. The Saints not coming marching in. 23-3, Tampa Bay with the win. Bo Bishop, one thought.
This felt to me like a sporting event contested between two 40-year-olds who have had let's like pickleball or one-on-one hoops. Pick a sport, and they'd been competing all day against other people, and they get to the end of the day and they're like, good, all right, see you next week. That's what it felt. Nobody tried. This was utter This game was not. Look at this. Go look at the box score from this thing.
The Bucks had 212 yards of offense, were 3 of 13 on third down. It was the most
boring game ever.
5 people were targeted by Baker.
I felt bad for my guy Hanson on Red Zone. He just he's like, I guess I got to show you this. I only got 3 games in the late window. I got to show you this thing.
4
this was
turnovers
awful.
by the Saints.
Bad
Saints,
ball.
Terrible. This was
bad ball.
I kept looking at it. So they scored. The Bucks had a touchdown, an interception touchdown. They had one drive where they actually went 70 yards of their whole yards for the game. Then they had 3 field goal drives. McLaughlin, 55, 52, 54, where they went 7 plays, 18 yards, 7 plays, 16 yards, and 4 plays, 8 yards.
Yeah, it was really, really, and they have injuries, but now it looks like there's been some adjustments to Mac, and it's starting to come back. I mean, Bake's only completing 64% of his passes.
They're 6-2, but it feels but they're going to win their division. There's nobody to
catch them,
challenge them.
No.
Next up, then the main game in the late window, the Broncos take down the Cowboys in a big way. Denver 44, Dallas 24. Zagura, one thought.
This was probably the most surprising result of the day.
Just gonna say, hold my beer on the 49ers one. This one might have been more.
And Denver's legit. This was a beating of what had been a pretty red hot Cowboys team, and certainly a Cowboys offense. I think that's the more surprising. Dak, 19 of 31, 188, and 2 picks. They get a late touchdown from Milton. This was a 44-17 game while the principals were playing it. Just dominant. Nix was great. Dobbins is running it. Are they getting R.J. Harvey involved now? Troy Franklin looked. I mean, this was an absolute beating by the Denver Broncos.
It really was, and you do wonder how much it. Sean Payton always takes it personally with Dallas. We know that. There's a lot of history there. But then the other thing that's interesting is that miraculous comeback against the Giants last week at home. Did that fuel this? Did something happen there that flipped? You wonder that because they were on the cusp of really. I mean, they only beat the Jets by 2, and then they were going to lose at home to the Giants, and now all of a sudden, you get these 2 games. They're at the Texans on Sunday.
That'll be a big. That's a defensive.
Big one.
That's a big defensive game.
Yeah, it is. Then
Quickly.
a Thursday nighter against the Raiders. So that's
Quickly power rank the AFC West.
KC,
Kansas City,
Denver,
Chargers, Vegas.
LAC.
Hey, Vegas doesn't get ranked.
And the first
Unranked.
3, I think, are all making the postseason.
Yes, and all could make noise.
All can roll.
Next, in the late window, the Colts take care of Tennessee 38-14, Bo Bishop.
You better start thinking about Jonathan Taylor for MVP.
They have 2 MVP candidates.
They have 2. Danny Dimes been incredible. Taylor, he's like 850 yards rushing already.
Brother.
I think something like that. He had 153 and 2 touchdowns on 12 carries.
He's got 14 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns.
He does.
Something like that.
13 or 14 touchdowns.
I'm
It's been
pretty
ridiculous.
sure he's got. Hold on. All right, here is his last 4 games. Last 4 games, he's got 10 touchdowns. He has at least 3 touchdowns, 3 of his last 4. So this one, 174 total yards on 14 touches, 3 touchdowns. The week before, 19 touches, 132 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that's against the Chargers. The week before that, 25 touches, 137, only 1 touchdown against Arizona. Week before that, 20 for 86 and 3 touchdowns. He's got 4 games with 3 touchdowns this year. He had 3 touchdowns as well against Tennessee the first time. He also has a 215-yard game against Denver.
Yep. He's got 850 yards and 12 touchdowns and 6 yards a carry.
He leads the NFL in rushing attempts, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, yards from scrimmage, total touchdowns.
They really could be 8-0 very easily.
Yep.
Yeah, the only one they lost was
The
they
Rams,
blew it.
crazy Rams
you
game
blew
where
it,
they-
boy.
where he blew
when the
it.
guy dropped it going in the end zone, Adonai Mitchell.
Yep.
Final one, Sunday Night Foosball. The Packers take down the Squealers 35-25. Zagura, one thought.
This is a good game.
It was.
It was a good game. It was fun to watch. Jordan Love trying to get into the MVP voting. 29-37, 360 and 3. Tucker Kraft is like the new Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that level. That's maybe the new Kittle when Kittle was really rolling. That's what he reminds me of. He is just a beast.
Yeah, he is.
He
7 for 143. Jeez.
Yeah, and like some of them, he's just carrying dudes, trucking dudes. They're impressive. That was a good one. They could very easily be undefeated as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they have the crazy tie to Dallas.
And then lost to us.
Yeah.
And in this game, their kicker, I think, missed 2 field goals as well. They held Pittsburgh to 1 of 10 on 3rd down in this game.
Yeah, from the Pittsburgh side, Rodgers is clearly plenty talented to make every throw, but their approach is so different than any other system he's played in.
Yeah.
They go that massive heavy package with like 4 tight ends on the field and DK Metcalf. They can't really run it. Like I don't know. Like they drafted Caleb Johnson in the 2nd round.
He's like
he can't see the field because of that. I think because of that error on special teams.
Yeah,
so he doesn't see
like
the
dead to
field.
them. Yeah.
So he's dead to them. So it's and Warren just isn't really special. And so they just don't have anything that they can rely on, and their defense is not good.
Defense is trash.
No, their defense is trash.
Their defense is not good at
all. Also, one thing. Did you see the play? And by the rule, it's smart, but if you just throw the ball at the last second, so Rodgers was getting sacked, and at the last second, he just kind of pushes the ball to the ground at the feet of Jalen Warren, who's blocking for him.
Yeah.
And they counted that as an incomplete pass and not
as
grounding.
opposed to grounding.
You're not even intending to try to complete a pass.
No.
I understand that. That just was – it was a very smart play by him. That's something with the rule that maybe there's a problem, but I don't think they're going to change it. Nor should, they probably shouldn't, but that was just an interesting one.
Yeah.
That's one thought from Week 8 in the National Football League.
And this month's winner of the local business platform presented by Minuteman Association with Medical Mutuals. Envision Design Group, locally owned in Menor. Envision Design Group is dedicated to crafting authentic, innovative, affordable brand solutions. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/community/local business platform. We'll do a little reaction or overreaction coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. For car, truck, or motorcycle accident cause you injury, call the injury lawyers at 1-800-ELK, Ohio for a free case review. Elk and Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time for the Great Clips clip of the game. It's going to be great. Brought to you by Great Clips. Here is Andrew and Nathan on Miles' record day.
No gain on that one from the 13. May to throw. May up in the pocket. May taken down by Miles. There it is. Myles Garrett has 5 sacks today. A new Cleveland Browns single-game record.
And he now has 10 on the season. You want to have at least one bright spot today? Obviously, it is Myles Garrett. No quitting to him. You're down 30-7. He's still out there delivering it. 10 sacks again for Myles Garrett. The consistency of his greatness is really something to behold.
Derek Thomas, the record, did he have 7? 7.
7. Yep.
Yeah. The late great.
I will say one of the funnier moments yesterday, and there were not many.
Yeah.
But a light moment. We are so close to the stands that Siciliano has the call.
Yeah.
He's excited.
Yeah.
Most of the people in the stands are turning around going, what could the Browns radio people really be celebrating right now?
Yeah, they were kind of like giving us like the
scoreboard.
They all
they
turned
were all very
around.
nice. They were all very nice about it.
Yeah.
Let us have our moment. Shut up and eat your chowder.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that was good. There was another good moment where Siciliano said, I don't know if you have this one at the ready, Gibbe. Probably not. But Siciliano said something, and we came back a couple different things he had to do. Look at Omar, that's great. And at the end of the point, he was like, who cares? Like, basically whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, you sounded just like the great Harry Doyle in Major League
right
there.
That's right.
Yeah. And they dropped the best. He's not the best colored man in the business for nothing. Look at these guys.
Look at that.
These guys.
That's great.
Yeah, little twins.
That's pretty good. The twins.
Twins. That's really good.
That's
yeah.
very good.
That's good.
Yeah, we got it.
I think they should win.
We're men. We're 40.
That's my favorite now. That's my favorite.
Yeah. They did a good job.
Is Judge Colonel Sanders?
Oh, it looks like it. Yeah. What a time.
Folks, I don't know.
I can tell you
Let's go
this.
reaction or overreaction.
Let's do a little reaction or overreaction, Gibbe.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, the first one I think we've already talked about.
I didn't even see this.
You guys hit on 2 of them already. I was like, Jonathan Taylor should be more of an MVP candidate than Daniel Jones.
That's just, when we're good. We're good at what we're doing. Sure, for now. Yeah, he's sure.
I think if he ends up with
has been unreal.
If he runs for if he gets near 2,000 and like 25 touchdowns, then I mean that's where he's trending. So yeah.
Reaction or overreaction? The Ravens are definitely still in the mix to win the AFC North.
They are 100% still in it. Pittsburgh. I mean, you just think about the last 2 weeks for them to lose that game in Cincinnati last week, and then to lose at home. I mean, you're up at half against Green Bay. Feel pretty good about things and give it up in the fourth quarter way that they did. That's good. Yeah. I think Baltimore absolutely can do it. I haven't looked at Pittsburgh's schedule to see what's coming for them, but Pittsburgh's defense it ain't there. It is not there. Oh, they get the Colts next.
Yeah, it's
Here
a
he
1
comes.
o'clock.
Here he
It's
comes.
a 1 o'clock.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh man,
Wash
your clothes.
What's he dressed up as?
He's
Swag.
somebody running a business.
He's running a business. That's what
that is.
So the Steelers go Colts at home, at Chargers, then Bengals, at Bears, Bills. Yeah, Baltimore definitely can do it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. The gutless Falcons missed their window to trade Kirk Cousins.
That whole thing is crazy to me, and they're 3-4. I'll never understand why they signed him to begin with. It's just stupefying that they did.
Well, if you were gonna sign him, you could have drafted Roma Dunze,
right, and built it that way.
And so you'd be like, all right, we're gonna go out here with Cousins, Roma Dunze, Drake London, Bijan, Pitts.
Yeah.
Instead, you used it on a quarterback.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, the knock on him, oft injured.
Yep.
And he's still Judge is pretty good as Colonel Sanders. Got a Happy Gilmore. Twins is
so far.
Twins
Colonel
wins.
Sanders one's pretty good. That's a good one.
Yeah. Twins should win.
Yeah.
I mean, Omar looks unbelievable as DeVito.
He does.
That's pretty good.
Next, Dak Prescott is not a big game quarterback. Reaction or overreaction?
That feels like an
It
overreaction.
feels like a Gibby overreaction to
That
me.
feels a bit like an overreaction.
That screams like a Romo take from
I'm
15
not going to
years
lie.
ago.
I did steal it from the white whale himself, Bill Barnwell, who was like, you can make the argument.
I guess you can. I mean, they don't have anything defensively at all to speak of. And Jerry had this crazy line where he's talking about we just can't get one great defensive player, and it's like, well, dude, you had one.
Yeah.
You just traded him.
Who is the panda?
I know, it's a massive panda.
That's an enormous costume to lug in and lug out.
Yep.
What's going on out there?
Beamsy's got some sort of shark thing that he's wearing, and I can tell he's instantly regretting it because it's like, how am I going to wear this around? You signed up for it, dude.
Yeah.
What's everybody else going?
I don't know, but we need to know who won. Did Twins win? Because
they vote?
Yeah, I think there was a vote.
The whole Scooby-Doo group's pretty good. You got a Fred back there. You got Velma. I don't see a Daphne. I don't see a Shaggy or a Scoob.
Yeah, you need. Don't you need those?
Group. Yeah. You and I should have judged this.
Yeah. Well, we need answers.
You could have got some answers. Yeah.
I mean, based on a TikTok trend, I think they have the right group of the Scooby-Doo group, unfortunately.
Oh, is that a TikTok thing, Kev?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
What do you mean?
I don't partake
to not
in
have Daphne?
I don't partake.
Not getting into that.
Probably a win. So that's safe. Smart judgment, Kev.
One final one on reaction or overreaction Monday. The AFC North champion will have no more than 9 wins.
I think 10 does it.
I'm not sure if someone gets to 10.
In the AFC North?
AFC North? Either Baltimore or Pittsburgh will get to 10. My bet would be on Baltimore now, which is crazy because they're 2-5. So they got to go 8-2 the rest of the way. But I still think their talent is such. It's crazy. I think 10 will do it. But I thought 3 would get in this division, and it looks more and more like it might just be 1 because there's a lot going on in the West, certainly. So, yeah.
Real quick, in our final minute here before we take a break, LSU firing Brian Kelly. The first thought that went through your mind when you found out?
Duh.
I don't want to hear anybody in college athletics talk to me about how they have to find money. If you can scratch checks for $54 million buyouts for Brian Kelly and $50 million buyouts for James Franklin and $25 million for Billy Napier, if you can do that, then don't come to me and say you need private equity cash. Don't tell me you got to cut sports. There's money in the banana stand. There's always money in the banana stand, and there is here too. The 2 other things real quickly on this. Number 1, the SEC and those fan bases have got to get used to their teams being 10-2, 9-3, 8-4, and those being successful years because of how they schedule and how few teams there are in that conference. That's something that they all have to get used to, and we've never seen this before. We have 3 Cadillac jobs open in college football before November. Penn State, Florida, LSU, those are all top 12 jobs in the country, and they're all open at the same time. Lane Kiffin is going to make a lot of money, either from somebody else or from somebody giving him an extension at Ole Miss. But something to watch for there. Yeah, it was crazy weekend in college football.
All right.
I've tried on the Google machine to find an answer to this. I found nothing so far.
On what's that? Brian
Daphne.
Kelly? Oh, the Daphne thing? Kevin will tell you in the break. Kev will tell you in the break. We'll get your scores from Monday night. Coming up next, you'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Iconic rock hits. Join us on August 10th to feel the energy, hear the hits, enjoy an unforgettable night. Tickets go on sale on Friday, October. Oh, that's this Friday on Halloween, 10 a.m. Visit huntingtonbankfield.com/Foo Fighters to learn more.
That's a treat, not a trick.
That's a big-time treat. We got a game tonight, Gibby.
We do have a game. The Kansas City Chiefs are playing as well as anybody. They've won
by
2
$1
in a row.
billion.
They're
I don't
4-3.
even care what the number is.
Yeah, by $1 billion.
Chiefs hosting the Commies.
Yeah.
What is the number?
10.5.
To the moon, baby. To the moon.
To the moon. Thanks for listening, everybody. We're back tomorrow.
Yes.
Cleveland Browns Daily, 8:50 ESPN Cleveland.